Hi, Luke from Korg here, and I'm at the Gear4music studios. Today we're looking at the Korg Nu Tekt Digital, which is this little synth here. So this is basically the technology of the Pro Logue and the Mini Logue XD distilled down into a tiny little box, which is a kit that you get to build before you actually use it, which is great fun. It's the digital part of those synths. So it's the digital oscillator, the multi-engine, alongside those stellar effects, modulations, delays, and reverbs, which you'll hear in a minute. And you've got this nice little ribbon keyboard on there to play the sounds, or you've got a MIDI input. So I've got my Mini Logue here, so I'll be using this to play the sounds of it. And the coolest thing of all is you've got an audio input, which means that you can feed any piece of gear through this and then use those as stellar effects on that incoming signal. So let's have a listen and look at what's going on with the digital. As I said, we can play it from the keyboard here or from my Mini Logue here. So we've got the digital oscillator from the Pro Logue and Mini Logue XD, and what that means is you can have lots of analog-modelled oscillators, plus the user oscillator aspect where you can load in your own coded waveforms. So, for instance, I've got a saw wave here. I can play it from my Mini Logue keyboard as well. I've got a triangle wave, square wave, variable phrase modelled waveform, and the user oscillator that I was telling you about before. What's great though is you have these two controls to manipulate those waveforms. So if I just go back to my saw a minute, you've got wave shaping, and you've got, in this case, a sub-oscillator. So you can get a lot of kind of more character into those waveforms very easily via these onboard controls. You've also got a filter section with different types of digital filters, low passes, band passes, high pass as well. And then these two controls again become the parameters, so cutoff and resonance. We also have an arpeggiator built in, really useful. So I'm going to set that running actually so we can listen while I manipulate the filter. And it latches as well, which is really useful, so I can just hold it and it will continue to play. Plus I've got other parameters via these buttons here of different note values and gate times and so on, which can be really useful. I've got an envelope section as well, so I can change the ADSR. So let's open up that filter a bit more so we can hear it. So that's the attack, for instance, and that's a release. And there are also different types of envelopes which are really useful, plus an open envelope so you can just get a drone if you want to. Then we're into the effects. So as I said, these are the same effects you'd find on our flagship Pro Logue synth. So we have modulation effects, let's turn that on. Chorus. Ensemble effects, which is a type of chorus, phaser, and flanger. Plus we've got delay effects. Different types of delays as well, mono, ping pong, tape delays, and so on. And of course, those amazing reverbs, right from your regular kind of hall and plate reverbs through to your space kind of things like this. You've got another reverb in there called riser, which is really interesting. Which gives you all those high frequencies rising up after it releases. And submarine does the opposite. So you get all the lows coming in. So as well as using the Mini Logue as a MIDI controller, as I'm doing here, to trigger the digital sounds, I can also use the audio in because I've got that fed in at the moment as well. So if I turn the volume up now of my mini Logue and play back a sequence, all you'll hear is the mini Logue being processed through the new Tekt effects. So let's turn them off for a start. So we start dry. So there we have it. That's the new Tekt Digital from Korg. If you want to see any more details about this, spin over to the Gear4music website and all the details are on there. Thanks for listening.